Good Sunday morning, everyone. Welcome back to Weather with Sim again. I hope you guys are all having a great day so far. And in today's weather forecast, we're going to be going over the severe weather threat for today, which doesn't look very concerning, but we could still get a few severe thunderstorms today, which will still be something to keep an eye on. And then we will also be going over the flooding risk for the next few days, and then we'll also be going over what we can expect in the future, such as a possible La Nina that actually could be getting ready to happen as we do head into the beginning of August, because those water temperatures actually don't need to go down that much for it to be considered a La Nina. So we will be talking about all of that plus a few extra things at the end. So let's go ahead and first talk about what's happening today. And as you can see, we do have a marginal risk for severe weather across southern Colorado back into northern New Mexico. So those will be an area to watch for. And then I'm mainly concerned about southern Arizona being the main concern today. And like I said, it's not really concerning, but that's the area I am most concerned about today, just given the fact that Arizona doesn't usually see much in the way of severe weather. So if you do live in southern Arizona, including Phoenix, be on high alert that we could see a few severe thunderstorms today. Nothing much though, because we aren't expecting tornadoes, but we could very well see some damaging winds and perhaps some small hail, which will be the main concern. So definitely get ready for both of those, but you won't need to worry about tornadoes though, thankfully. So just make sure to be prepared to be indoors and away from windows today, but you don't need to have that tornado action plan in place because we aren't expecting any tornadoes at all. Now, let's look at the flood threat, okay? We do have one big area to watch for, and that does include parts of the marginal risk, by the way. So, almost all of New Mexico, back into southern Colorado, western Texas, and even into southeast Arizona will be a huge area to watch for today. And that doesn't mean all of these areas will be experiencing flash flooding. That just means that we could see some localized flooding in this yellow shaded color that you see right here. And I do expect maybe about an inch of rain. But like I said in the last video, you actually don't need a whole lot of rain to cause flash flooding across the southwest, and that's mainly because the soil is so hard. You don't need a whole lot of rainfall to cause flash flooding because of how hard it is for the rainfall to soak into the soil, because it's just as hard as concrete. And then over here out to the east in parts of North Carolina, that will be another area to watch for today, where we maybe could be seeing a few inches of rain. I do expect a little bit more in the way of rainfall in this area, but I am more concerned about this area though. Now, for tomorrow, which will be for day 2, as you can see, we do have that flood threat continuing across New Mexico heading into southern Colorado, but we also get an increase of rainfall across Texas heading into southwest Arkansas and even into northwest Louisiana will be an area to start watching for as we do head into tomorrow, which is a pretty dramatic change in where we could see flash flooding, because for today, like I said, we could see flash flooding across North Carolina and back over here across Arizona and New Mexico. But like I said, that kind of shifts dramatically as we do head into tomorrow, and that where it does include mainly Texas heading into southwest Arkansas and even into northwest Louisiana. Now, for day 3, which will be for Tuesday, that will be after tomorrow, we start to see maybe some risk for flash flooding start to pop up across Wisconsin heading into the UP, Michigan. We might still be concerned about over here for maybe some flash flooding possibly continuing, but we're mainly still being concerned about parts of Texas maybe getting on some of the flash flooding. So definitely get ready for some more flash flooding here in Texas. Now, for the total rainfall, that is anywhere from now all the way to July 31st, and as you can see, a lot of precipitation is likely across areas along the East Coast heading into the southeast, and as well as the deep south, which will be the area to watch for the closest. But like I said, you don't need a whole lot of rainfall out here in the southwest, including Arizona and New Mexico. And as you can see, some areas might be experiencing 1 to 2 inches of rainfall, but like I said, you don't need a whole lot of rainfall. So those areas that only show light purples usually indicates only about an inch of rainfall could very well cause some flash flooding, especially because of how hard the soil is. So be aware of that over here, but especially be aware of that across this area, especially those yellow colors that you see, which indicates about 4 inches of rainfall. But even up here into the upper Midwest, heading into Wisconsin and the UP and Michigan, we could get some very heavy rainfall, especially with some of the thunderstorms that develop. So even though we're mainly concerned about it down here, we could get some isolated thunderstorm activity start to pop up here too as well, especially as we do head into the end of July. Now, let's talk about La Nina. The reason why we want to talk about this is because look how crazy those water temperatures are now already starting to drop. That is pretty crazy right there, especially after it's been going up and down quite a bit, but now they finally have dropped. It's very close to a La Nina actually, because you only have to be below 0.5, which is in between 0.4 and as well as 0.6. So as soon as it drops below my mouse that right here, so as soon as it gets to this line, that's where we will very well likely see a La Nina. So definitely get ready for a possible La Nina as we do head into August, because I do expect this to continue to drop like a rock as we do head into the beginning of August. So I don't know if we'll see it that quick, but we will likely see one sometime in August, so definitely get ready for that. Now, let's talk about what La Nina is, and I know my camera might be covering a little bit of this, but that's okay because it just means La Nina explained. And as you can see, we do usually see this jet stream shift a little bit up to the north, so that jet stream is now up here into parts of, let's say, Alaska, and it heads towards the northwest, which is usually an area that gets more in the way of precipitation, but then continues down to the south and east and moves through parts of the Ohio Valley, which is usually another area that experiences well above average precipitation during a La Nina, but then that just continues out to the east. So that is definitely a pretty crazy jet stream, just given the fact that we could move to a La Nina, and then we usually also see this colder air shift down towards the Ohio Valley more frequently too as well during a La Nina. So that's definitely going to be another thing that we do need to keep an eye on. But below that, we usually see warmer than normal temperatures across the south, southeast heading into the southern plains, and then that drier weather also heads into parts of the southwest, including California. So this is what we could see as we do head into a La Nina, but like I said, I'm not really sure if we're really going to be seeing a La Nina this quick, and I'm also not really sure if that's what we're really going to be seeing during a La Nina. So at least be prepared for some weather conditions across the Northwest and as well as the Ohio Valley, because that's where I really think we'll see weather conditions. But like I said, it just remains uncertain by this point on if we're exactly going to be seeing the exact La Nina conditions or not, but I at least expect weather conditions across the Northwest and as well as the Ohio Valley. So that's pretty much the area I am mainly concerned about as of right now until we change to a La Nina, which is where we'll be a little bit more certain on if we'll be seeing these other things like the warmer weather, the colder weather, and as well as the drier weather. Now, for the Climate Prediction Center outlook, as you can see, we do expect above average precipitation, but also above average temperatures across the northern United States. So places like Montana, the Dakotas, into Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, Maine, New York, New Hampshire, heading into the Mid-Atlantic, into the northern Ohio Valley, and parts of the Rocky Mountains will be an area to watch for well above average temperatures, which actually is better than the West seeing above average temperatures, because the West has been doing with well above average temperatures for, I can't even explain, like literally 30 days. And so they really just need a break from all that heat. And so that's at least good that all that heat has been shifting off to the east and not continuing towards the west. So at least the west gets a break, but I would still be prepared for maybe a La Nina. So still, be prepared for well above average temperatures across the northern United States. Now, back over here to the precipitation outlook, okay? Like I said, we also expect above average precipitation across parts of the northern United States, but even that could continue across the southern United States especially. So, southern Texas will be one of the biggest areas to watch for, as we will likely see a lot of days of heavy rainfall, especially because tomorrow and as well as the day after tomorrow, which will be Tuesday, they do have a slight risk for flash flooding across Texas, and that will likely continue for the next couple of days after that. So definitely get ready for above average precipitation. And I forgot to say, this was from July 26th all the way to July 30th, and that's also the same with the temperatures, by the way. Now, for the 8 to 14 day outlook, this is anywhere from July 28th all the way to August 3rd, okay, and that's where we will likely see above average temperatures continuing across parts of the northern United States. But unfortunately, we actually start to get back on some of the heat across the western United States, so any break from the heat will be very brief, like I said in the last outlook. So, at least be prepared for above average temperatures again if you live out here to the west, but especially prepare for them across the northeast. And then over here for the precipitation, look at that, a big area of below normal precipitation is possible, and that does include all of Utah heading into northern Arizona, northwest New Mexico, eastern or western Colorado rather, but even eastern Colorado could even be getting some drier weather, but even over here into eastern Nevada heading into southwest Wyoming will also be another area to watch for below average precipitation. And then just to the east of that, we do have a big corridor that could see above average precipitation heading from the northwest all the way down to the southern plains especially. Now, if we go ahead and take a look at the Drought Monitor outlook, the last update was back on last Thursday, and as you can see, we do have an increased drought across the southeast heading into the Mid-Atlantic, and that is pretty bad, okay? We've been dry across these areas for quite a while, and I can't remember the last time that they saw a lot of rainfall, but these areas do really need the rainfall, and that's good because we are likely going to be talking a lot of rainfall across the south and southeast heading into the southern plains the next several days, so definitely get ready for some flooding across this area, but that will likely break the drought dramatically as we do head into the next several days, which is good because we are really dry across this area, especially over here into northern Virginia, which is where the most widespread severe drought is on the map. Now, thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you guys are wondering about any of the weather, make sure to leave a comment down below. But also don't forget to like my videos and of course subscribe especially. And I'm really glad you guys got me up to 250 subscribers. But I really need more than that, especially so I continue to keep you guys updated with the weather. So if you haven't subscribed already, please click that subscribe button down below, like my video, and of course subscribe if you haven't already.